Good evening. Welcome back. I am TV Ham, bringing you yet again another CTL matchup. This is going to be from Season 12, Week number 3. Teams tonight are going to be All Inspiration and BornG Gosu. Allin is a pretty powerful team. I think they finished second last season. BornG Gosu, their last season was their first season, and they made it to the playoffs, but I'm pretty sure they lost in the quarterfinals. The round of 6. Wait, did we have a round of 6? No, we had a legitimate quarterfinals. I honestly can't remember. No, it was a round of 6. But still a strong showing from them in their first year, and they seem to be back this season, even stronger than they were. Allin, meanwhile, has kind of dropped off a little bit. Some early season problems so far. They are still 1-1, I think. So, despite it's funny to say a team has dropped off, and yet they're still 1-1. It's not like they're 0-6 or something. And saying that, no, it's just we've come to expect so highly of All Inspiration that seeing them not start off a season really well is somewhat surprising. But we're going to go into our third week here. Our first match is going to be a gold matchup at PVZ. We're going to be starting on the Lilac Crest and getting into it, spawning up here in the top left in pink from All Inspiration. Our protest player, this is Pragmatic. There were a whole lot of P's in that intro of him. Pink, Protoss, Pragmatic. Nicely done, buddy. And his opponent in the bottom right, and actually a former All Inspiration player for quite a while in orange, our Zerg player now playing for BornG Gosu. This is PsyRex. So it was ZVP in a very large map here, but a very large map with a very awkward front to the base. This is very easy for a Zerg player to just rush out speedlings and kind of prevent the protest player from ever actually expanding safely. It is, since the change, putting these rocks here, it has made it a little bit easier because there's only really one location earlings can come from, so a protest player could choose to just wall off this large ramp, but it's a really large ramp. It's really difficult for Pragmatic to actually be able to do that very early in the game, so to see what he decides to do to keep himself safe starting off. I mean, at the moment, PsyRex, it's not like this was a super early pool. I think it was on 17, and he also got his natural hatchery is down, and he has a gas on the way as well, so he's not going for like a super fast speed, but that option is going to be available for him. Meanwhile, Pragmatic, really super safe and standard. He's got this one gate gas. Cybercore is up, looking like he's going to expand here just a little bit as soon as he actually gets the money for that. He's not going to be making anything out of that first gateway just yet. It seems because he wants to wait for the Nexus. And there he goes. He does have 400 minerals, so that will get thrown down. No big surprises. And even Pragmatic getting in with the probe, so he's going to be able to see his opponent. He's got the gas, so I kind of need to worry about speed being a thing. I kind of need to worry about roaches maybe being a thing also. You can go back and plan for that. Mothership Core and a second gateway are on the way here for Pragmatic, and I mean, we do see speed in the production tab for PsyRex. He is still in gas, so his follow-up is going to be still whatever the heck he wants, but just kind of waiting for him to throw down a third hatchery, waiting to see how many drones he actually does make and if that Roach Warren does come down. Also curious and waiting on Pragmatic to throw down any sort of actual tech, because right now he just has a couple of gateways, some probes. I think he maybe just selected that idle worker hotkey and wanted to send them down the natural, but he realized, hey, wait a second, I wanted those for my gas. Had to turn those guys around. A couple things poking in here, but Mothership Core here is going to say, hey, no, you can go ahead and go away. There we go, third hatchery from PsyRex, so he's just opening up really nice and macro oriented. He does have quite a bit of gas, however. Since he is going for the third hatchery, it would probably been easier and or better for him to go for or pull out of gas at 100 and start mining afterwards, because right now he's got just 200 gas that he's not using on anything. His speed is finished, but with only 2 Lings out, there's really nothing he's going to do with it, and he's got 8 drones about to pop as well, so it's not like he's planning on being aggressive. Kind of expect to see a lair coming up soon, especially since he does have all of this gas, but instead it's actually going to be 2 Evo chambers, so going to go heavily into upgrades, which can be a really nice thing to do. I think one of my favorite things about Legacy of the Void is the fact that you can actually go for upgrades early, and you're not just going to insta lose because your opponent is actually just attacking. 2 gateways have finished up, and there's a robo facility on the way as well as this Twilight Council, but the robo seems to just be initially, at least for just an observer. I have to see if he decides to make a warp prism after that. Go for the always super fun adept harassment, whether or not he will do that. And, well, PsyRex does have these Evo Timbers finished, but no upgrades actually coming out for him just yet. We go melee upgrades. Love it. I don't know why I love melee playstyles, pushing towards muta play in ZVP, but I really enjoy playing like that. This is a really big map, so Lings, having Lings that you actually want to have, it's a nice thing to have when they actually have upgrades and you're actually focusing on upgrades for them. So it'd be cool to see exactly what PsyRex wants to do. If he wants to go for like a super fast Ultralisk Cavern, getting up to a high. I mean, his lair is just now starting, and he is still only on 3 gases. Then again, of course, he did have these early 2 gases that really all he's used for gas right now is +1/+1 melee attack. So I'm curious if this is going to be straight into mutas, straight into that Spire, or what exactly he's wanting to do with this heavy gas income. And then there's even a 4th gas being taken right now. He still hasn't taken the other gas in his main. The observer here from Pragmatic does see the fact that, okay, you're just not getting your lair. You've got a bunch of gases, but what else do you have? And he sees, he sees the Evo chambers. That's nothing really surprising. Okay, your early choice is just to go for these upgrades, but doesn't know exactly what upgrades they are for. I guess he didn't see a Roach Horn or anything, so pretty obvious that there's probably going to be melee upgrades, and I guess you can kind of almost infer that it might be a Spire. Actually, a Hydra Den, so I guess Lurkers, maybe. But there's a Warp Prism on the way for Pragmatic. PsyRex does see this with an Overlord, but there's actually nothing at home right now. He's actually rallying a ton of Speedlings across the map, and back home there's only a handful of Stalkers over here. A couple of Adepts being warped in over at the 3rd base, where Prism actually was going to pick up and get the heck out of here. See what the Adepts are able to get. I think maybe 1 drone kill. Yeah, they got 1 drone kill out of that, which is kind of sad. And these Lings do have +1/+1 now. Wait, where did that Hydra Den go? Okay, there it is. It's like, I know he made 1, so okay, he's going to Ling Hydra. Ling a lot of freaking Hydra. Wow. Lings will be able to take care of these Stalkers really easily, and then the Hydras will be able to take care of the Immortals pretty easily as well. Those high DPS will just chew through those shields super fast. It can be a somewhat risky style to play, but with 13 Hydras coming out and not much of an army here for Pragmatic, and he does have Blink at least, so that's going to be helpful, but Lings are going to start getting on top of some of these Stalkers. Hopefully they blink away. Well, a couple of them blink away, but yeah, good control there from Pragmatic. I think he only lost a single Stalker. Yeah, they lost 1 Stalker. He's going to lose a second one, though. Oh, God. And now with the Hydras here as well, Hydras could actually try and push on top of them, but PsyRex definitely wants to back off and wait for more units to come in. I mean, 20 more Lings about to pop. The Hydra range is about to kick in as well. And his 2/2 is even about 40% finished, so he's going to have a nice little upgrade advantage for a while in this game. We do have +1 for Pragmatic, and he does have Blink as well, and he's got the Adept upgrade researching to increase their attack speed, but beyond that, nothing much else tech-wise. And an Infestation pick coming out for PsyRex as well, so he probably is wanting to go into a Quick Hive, but still only on 3 bases. A Quick Hive or Infestors, either one, is going to be hard to afford with his current economy, especially considering the fact that he only has 51 drones right now, but he is posturing pretty heavily onto the map here, maybe wanting to attack once 2/2 actually finishes. We're going to have attacking right with that, but actually he's going to try to dive in on top of his 3rd base perhaps and see if he can kill that Nexus. The army for Pragmatic is completely out of position for this. However, he could trap him in, but without any force fields, this is still a really scary army to actually go into. 3rd Nexus does go down. More units are coming in here for PsyRex. And that's a lot of Hydras and a lot of Lings, and the Lings are, he's hitting kind of at this anti-time right before 2-2 actually finishes, but he is still just chewing through this rather weak force of Pragmatic, and now the supply is 110 to 63. Relatively no armies wide to speak of here for Pragmatic, and he does call GG, and he does tap out of game number 1, which will go to BornG Gosu. So congrats to them. Our next match is going to be a TVZ Platinum matchup coming up in just a little bit.